about Biosyntonie, which I've been using for 14 years, created by Terry DeLees at the company, and Pierre Nicolas is the researcher that developed this technology that uses natural physics. This technology uses crystallization in ceramics. Different kind of crystallization create different resonance. So whatever waves hit the ceramics, whether that represent example of ceramics, they come in different forms, but most of them are discs. So you have this demonstrate the man-made wave, artificial wave, which are symmetrical, and this is the vortex wave. So it doesn't matter which waves will hit the ceramics, it creates a resonance of natural wave. So the result is that you have more natural wave in their environment. Now, I want to stress that it's not going to show any change of meter, but you can feel, most people can feel the difference, and it's quite dramatic. For example, if you stand in front of a refrigerator with your hands, which are basically energetic antennas, toward the refrigerator, when the motor is on, most people feel various levels of discomfort in their body. You stick the disc temporarily on the door, the 5 discs, the protection, you immediately feel much better. Same thing true if you do it with the fuse box or with smart meter. If you put the protective device between you and the radiation source, you feel dramatic effect how the body feels. Here you can see it's a little animation that the resonance, both of them create resonance that feeds your body proper information. Biosyntonie amplified natural wave, and it's used for several purposes. The main purpose, most urgent today, is the protection purpose. However, the different crystallization create different ways. So, for example, we have a regeneration program that regenerates information to blood, bone, lymph, nervous system, and many, many others. So when your energy is restored, especially in our polluted environment, your body just functions better. The purpose is not to cure any illness or diagnose. Imagine if you eat perfect diet, live foods, organic food, no junk, no bad food. Obviously, your health will be much better. The same thing happens when you use biosyntonic technology. You actually restore the information, energetic information in your body, and your body obviously will stay healthier and will function better. Now, with food, you have more control. Don't buy processed food, don't buy GMO food, etc., etc. Don't use microwave. But unfortunately, with all the pollution today, you have much less choices. To some degree, obviously, you can eliminate, but a lot of it is just all around you, unless you go to the middle of the jungle. This is what this technology does. Because you cannot show the difference in a conventional meters, I'll show you some data that actually prove and shows you what it does to biological system. This is a Russian device that through measuring the frequency of the body, analyze the energy of the body and gives you different reading about the state of the body. This shows you that this person obviously wasn't in good shape. You can see several parameters when this instrument, this computerized instrument that takes reading from the body with electrodes. So the adaptation level was 0.04, vegetative regulation parameters. So all these parameters, which basically is general health energetically, were very, very low. In fact, if you see in the graph in the bottom, you see it was in the red zone, in the lower zone. So after 40 minutes of regenerative program called Basic Classic, the levels from 0.4 adaptative level went to 0.28, from 0.11, 0.39. The general health in the red went from 0.12 to 34. And you see the graph, it's still not healthy, but within 40 minutes you see the energetic movement, you see objective demonstration. Another way to demonstrate the effect is sensitive crystallization. You can find it in Europe here. I don't think anybody does it, but in Europe you can actually check water, plasma, urine. By crystallizing it, you actually can diagnose specific illnesses. So here you see the effect of water without protection from pollution and then with protection. So here you see the crystallization is very poor. This is much more elaborate, which means the energetic properties of the water was much better. Here again, it's another devices before regeneration and with regeneration. You see that the water, actually the crystallization changed. We have devices also to improve the energy of food, liquids, and you can actually distinctively notice a change after you energize it with this technology. So this is an enlarged slide. Here the crystallization is very poor. and here the crystallization is much more elaborate. So this is with electromagnetic pollution. This is protected from the electromagnetic pollution. With our technology, the same water. And this is trillion photography of water. This is actually water exposed to cell phone. You see the halo is very wavy and unclear. This is the same drop of water with operating cell phone, but with the cell phone protection. You see that the energy radiation of the water around it is much better than the one before. It's another demonstration of the effect. It's actually done with a physics laboratory in Russia. Those are the biosyntonic discs you see here, and those are picture of leptons. Leptons are subatomic particles. You can go online and read about it. It basically is subatomic particles, so you see clearly that the reaction of the particle to the Biosyntonie disc, which means there is a certain energetic effect, physical effect on the subatomic particle. Actually, when you put 3 discs and you create vortex, you can actually feel the wave. Your body starts waving around. If you put like 10 liters or 10 gallons of water bucket under this 3 discs to create vortex wave, the water will start moving. This is another example, but this is a bird. We have one of the things that we have in this technology is colloidal sprays that have natural colloids that are energetically, naturally have colloidal minerals that energize are naturally. They're very helpful. For example, this is called Nirvana 2. If you have injury and you spray it right out of the injury, you have bleeding stop, much less pain, the injury heals faster. Since we don't leave home without it, we have several cases. This is the most dramatic, and you can see more on my website in the Biosyntonie slide presentation. This little bird, I find she ran into the window in our sunroom, and it was lying like that. First, I was sure it was dead, but when I picked it up, it wasn't dead. So I sprayed it with the spray, the Nirvana 2, and within a few minutes she was sitting looking at me, but she wouldn't move. So I put her, you don't see the whole picture, but in 3 biosyntonic discs that create the vortex I described. In 20 minutes, the bird walked away and flew away. And we have many other cases of birds that were in shock, not so severe. After 5 minutes, they just flew away after being sprayed. So that's another example of this technology. So we have many, many mitigation devices. Obviously, everything that you use, computer, laptop, tablet, portable phone, we have protection. Again, when you can, if you can help it, absolutely get rid of any Wi-Fi. People, by the way, that are sensitive may need more mitigations. Oh, you see the list here. Again, because Wi-Fi is so prominent today, it's really important to check it out. And let me just tell you a story. This happened, which is unfortunately typical. I had a patient, she'd been patient for about 4 years. When she came, she had the COPD, barely walking, barely breathing, with chronic lung disease, pacemaker. I mean, really in not a good shape. She was about 84 or 83. We treated her with our holistic modalities. 3 years later, she's doing good. She's still a COPD, but doesn't need oxygen. She doesn't have difficulty breathing. She works much better. She feels better. She was able to fly last year to Africa, and nobody even believes she'll make it. She made it. Anyway, so about a year ago, she started not to respond very well. She has like maintenance therapy to keep her going, and she did very well with that. She started to respond not so well as before. Very nice lady. So I went to her home and checked her apartment. What I found out was she had already the protection devices, the refrigerator, fuse box, which we recommend to everybody. But what I found out was that they just put Wi-Fi router, and this was like on the other side of the wall of her bedroom, so she was exposed to high levels of Wi-Fi. Plus, I found out that she was sleeping across the wall from 4 analog electric meters. So she had high reading of EMF. It was like 20 Gauss, which is very high. So what I did, we eliminated, she agreed to eliminate the portable phone and the Wi-Fi. And we put the fuse box protection. Instead of putting on the fuse box, we put on the wall right across when she was sleeping. She refused to move the room. And I told her to check with the electric company, make sure that they don't put smart meter. So they told her, and she was told, and her landlord, she's renting in a quadruplex, they promised her, no, we don't have plans, we're not going to put smart meters. Okay, so after that, she did fine again, no problems. Again, lately, but a couple of months ago, but 6-8 weeks ago, she started not to do well and started to complain that she cannot sleep. She wakes up at 1:30 a.m., cannot sleep. I really have a very strong feeling that I have to go again and check her house. As I walked to her house, the wall where we had 4 analog meters, we have smart meters. Checking her house, what I found out that obviously it was the other side of her bed. Her Wi-Fi levels, her radio frequency were very high. At this point, luckily, she agreed to move, but she couldn't do it right away because she needed help of people to move her bed to another room. So meanwhile, I brought protection, what we call wall protect and an egg, which I'll show you in a minute, the picture. I try actually one wall protect, it was better, and I tried the egg, it was better, but when I tried them together, she was much, much better. So it took a few days for her to change the bed, so I left her the protection. And the next night she felt better. She slept like usual. She felt much better. Following day, she told me that she wanted to save, so maybe she'll need only one of them. So she tried to sleep without the egg between her and the wall, only the wall protect, which is 5 discs. And it didn't feel that good. It wasn't as bad, but still she could feel a big difference. So with both protection, she was fine. And actually, I have other cases like that. So I actually recommend if you have the bad fortune or to have smart meter, that's probably your best protection if you cannot get rid of it. So that's just another example, and I have many others. So sometimes with examples, you can get the idea much, much deeper. So if you go to my website, there is a slide presentation that shows you more examples and give you some more details about Biosyntonie, and you can check it yourself. Do you have also price list on all the devices that we have? So as you see, we have protection for every electric device, and in principle, every electric device needs protection. Now again, go to cell phone because almost everybody uses them. It's a big problem. Another big problem, if you put it in your body, you cook in your body with microwave. Already know cases that got they put in the liver, they have liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, people lost the kidney because they put in the back behind the kidney. Be aware that when you talk with the cell phone, even if you use it only as a speakerphone, you should never ever put it to your head. Actually, the exception is if you get air tube protection, which you get online, that buffers you from the head. Because if you use the regular hands-free with a wire, Bluetooth is even worse because you're continuously cooking your brain. But the wired one actually transmitted can amplify the pollution all the way to your ear, to your head. Plus your ear has magnet, which is a speaker, which is not good for your brain. So the hands-free sets are okay. Otherwise, use only as a speakerphone. Be aware that you're cooking all your meridians that bring information from your hands. You're giving misinformation to your whole body. If you have to hold it or use it at all, use the protection. For a smartphone, you need the 2 little discs and the big one, like you see here. The regular one, not the smartphone. The simpler one, you can use small disc, it's a computer disc, and tiny disc, which is a cell phone disc. Incidentally, you can tell immediately the difference, most people. If you just hold your phone and see how your phone, your hand feels, or your body, most people feel uncomfortable. You put the disc just temporarily between you and the phone, you immediately feel dramatic difference. Even with the protection, I would not use it to my head. Don't sleep with the cell phone in the room. The smartphone is several feet away, affecting everybody, especially for babies or the women that are pregnant. The embryo, the nervous system is developed in the baby. Very important that you keep away cell phone and any Wi-Fi devices from children and pregnant women. Let me just give you another fact. Dr. Klinger, which is a very good presentation on the internet about Wi-Fi dangers, he talks about the study he did in Germany. They took 10 autistic kids and they checked the mothers, where the mothers slept during pregnancy. They found out that all the mothers of all 10 autistic kids slept in a very high level Wi-Fi or radio frequency environment. They took 10 control kids, same age, and they checked all the mothers of the healthy kids, and well, they found out that none of them were sleeping in radio frequency. Now, be aware, it's not necessarily the radio frequency was the only cause. There's no doubt in my mind that major cause for autism is the immunization, the shock it does to the body, and the heavy metals, mercury, aluminum, and so forth. However, if you irradiate the child with radio frequencies in utero, his nervous system is already not functioning properly. Then, when it's already damaged, not necessarily to give you visible clinical effect, then it starts getting immunization, unfortunately, even in the hospital, a couple of days old, or within 6 weeks and so forth. You actually have predisposed weak nervous system that the damage from the immunization will be much higher if the mother was sleeping in a Wi-Fi environment. So you have to keep it in perspective. It's just another factor that can be the last straw that broke the camel back. So I have no doubt that that's a factor. Incidentally, I noticed over the years, because I treated unfortunately some of these kids that have severe brain damage after immunizations, within like a day or two, seizures and total loss of brain function. All the cases I've seen, and I don't believe in accident, the mother had a lot of mercury in the teeth, and obviously the mercury from the teeth goes to the milk and to the placenta, it's known. So again, it could be another silent factor. I believe, and if you understand my reasoning, that one of the reasons we see dramatic increase in autistic kids, it's not only the increasing amount of immunization in young age, but also that's probably another factor. And I think that the study Dr. Klinger did with autistic kids and their mothers during pregnancy points to that fact. Again, unfortunately, don't expect from the mainstream to do any studies. The information is actually suppressed. I want to mention something that Barry Trowers talks about. He actually goes all over the world and without charge give an expert testimony in court cases fighting Wi-Fi, smart meter, go anywhere in the world. He's doing it because I believe he was involved with military misuse of this in the 60s in Britain. He said something interesting. He said that most times, because the mainstream is in control and it's corrupted, when the interest told him he doesn't stand any chance to suit like a class action suit because they have billions of dollars. They say that if he tries to sue these power companies, communication companies for the damage of the Wi-Fi, they will put forward so many experts, so many things, it'll literally cost billions of dollars to prove the case, and it takes many, many years. But that time, many people, if they don't wake up, will be dead and sick anyway. But nobody in the free market or citizen market will have billions of dollars to fight this industry. What it boils down to, that this information I'm giving you today, I hope you share it for the sake of helping humanity, because when enough people wake up, the situation will change. I have no doubt about it, because it'd be like the 100 monkey effect. It takes very small percent of the population, because of the information resonance between us through the DNA, for other people to wake up. And the best example is communism. If you told anybody that communism will fall in 6 months, it would have told you that you're totally insane. And within 6 months, communism, the way it was inconsequential. It totally fell apart. Same thing happened eventually, but until it happens, hopefully sooner than later, maybe people are going to suffer. And Barry Trowers is very, very pessimistic. I'm not, because I believe in the power of humanity to share information and to educate each other, and eventually it wouldn't take that many years as he's expecting, and a lot of suffering and unnecessary death and illness for that to happen. So it's up to each one of us to stay asleep or to wake up. So again, we'll protect. This is protection from high power lines, cell phone antennas, power lines, etc., and also for the smart meters. Eggs are also used to protect. They actually protect from Wi-Fi and electricity. And I wouldn't get into details. We won't have time. But again, this is the refrigerator. It's very important. We have protection for car, personal protection that create resonance, that restore information to your body so it mitigates to some degree if you're in a very toxic environment. This is noise protect, which is actually built in today to the wall protect. We have actually mitigation for the type of nuclear pollution that we talked about, and it's built into the what we call atrium, which is built from 5 eggs, creates actually amplify Schumann resonance, mitigate chemical pollution, and what we call geopathic stress from natural phenomena and so forth. This is a more advanced unit. It doesn't protect you from electricity and all the other things, but it has additional effect which make the environment much more pleasant and your body work better because it mitigates and improves the energetic waves around you. You can look it up also on my website. This is the atrium. You actually put it in the whole house, in north, south, east, west, and center of the house, and then create a wonderful energy. If you come to my home or my office, anybody that has that, most people can feel immediately. It's much more peaceful and relaxing. Putting those devices, using the device, will be like if you ever experience electricity went out, and all of a sudden you feel like all of a sudden your body is more peaceful. That's what happens when you use these devices. Your body is much more peaceful. The area is more relaxed. Now, I will say that in extreme cases, that not even be enough. And unfortunately, see people that the levels are literally outrageous. It always will help, but it may not be enough. This is the nucleus program. Actually, we use it to decontaminate from the energetic pollution of atomic pollution and radioactivity. You decontaminate food and the body and liquids. Actually, we do this session with people when they do radiation therapy and they do this treatment. They have much less side effect. Obviously, most of my patients don't opt to do that, but the few they did, when they did this treatment every day during radiation, they have much less side effects and faster recovery. We have regeneration program, we have harmonizing program, the effect of man-made as well as natural, like earth faults and things like that, which we won't get into beyond the scope of this presentation. The colloidal solution spray, which you can read about on my website. So here it gives you geopathic stress, earth fault, cosmic chimney, which are energetic phenomena that we can stress the body energetically, and so on. We have also obviously regeneration devices. A few of them you can actually purchase with instructions and use them daily or weekly or whatever you want. The advantage is that with this polluting environment, when you regenerate your body, you just cleanse out your body. And if you do it periodically, you'll be in much better shape, because when your body is balanced energetically and clean energetically, for the reason I explained, it can function better on every level. Just to give an example, I do chelation. When I started to do chelation, and I actually documented when people do these sessions with the chelation, much more heavy metals coming out. When I started to regenerate my IV with these devices, I have practically no side effect, pain, or discomfort, which occasionally you see in EDTA chelation, for example. So let's just give you an idea. I'll give a totally separate webinar to get into more details, but I do workshop teaching professional but also lay people, because many of my patients choose to do the trainings. They have access to more programs that regenerate the body energetically, and they can benefit. Some of the programs that you can get in without training are amazingly effective for trauma. In fact, trauma will regenerate like bone fractures or sprains or surgery even 2 to 10 times faster. It's quite amazing. And you see the difference between 20-40 minutes. You see usually quite a bit of difference, and fracture heal in 2 weeks instead of 6-8 weeks, and so on and so on. So you can go online and get some more information. Of course, you can contact me if you're interested in more information or take advantage of this technology, first for protection, but also for energetic regeneration.